Okay, we're gonna try something different. This feels super weird. I was told that my videos suck because I shoot them in vertical, but I feel like when I shoot them horizontal, it looks like I'm not looking at the camera. Anyways, things that will improve your front squat very fast. This is something that, well, you guys that know me know that I love front squats. It's my favorite movement. My favorite thing to do is front squats. But, front squats, they're very hard to improve. I mean, you can always do more front squats to improve your front squat, and certainly I'm not going to disagree that the best way to improve your front squat is to do more front squats. However, there are a couple things here, three that I'm going to mention specifically, that I believe will drastically improve your rate of progress, because obviously we're going to do some assistance and accessory work. The first one is paused front squats. I know you hate that, right? Everyone hates paused front squats. And, the reality of it is that really we're just saying do more front squats. However, I'm going to be very specific here, actually. I'm going to tell you to lighten the load significantly, because one of the biggest problems we have in the front squat is that the form and technique breaks down. So what you're going to do is you're going to use a load that is significantly less than you think. Okay, you're going to use a lot less load than you want to be using. Your ego is going to take a hit. It's going to hurt. And what you're going to do is you're going to go all the way down, just like you normally would, and you're going to come up, and then you're going to pause like an inch or two above parallel. So you're actually going to pause right at that weird spot, right? We all can stand back up to parallel, but there's like this weird catch point right when you break parallel. And we're going to pause right there. Now, the reason being because that's the point where most people start to round and pitch forward. You can watch a ton of people do front squats, and I'm trying to look at the little dot over here. It's really hard. Listen, you can watch people do front squats, and most of them descend very well. Like, you watch people do front squats, and it's like, oh, your descent looked fantastic all the way down to the hole. You come back out of the hole, and oh, you're pitching forward. Oh, your thoracic spine is round. Oh, your lumbar is rounding. This does not look good. Okay, so we're going to keep a big upright chest, right? We're going to come all the way down. We're going to come back up, and then right above parallel, that's where you're going to pause. And I don't care if you pause for 5 seconds. I don't care if you pause for 3 seconds. You're going to pause there. And you're going to just hold that position and really feel it. And then when it feels like you can't hold it any longer, stand up, okay? But you're going to stay tight. That's the most important part of this. You're going to stay tight. This is not really strength work as far as I'm concerned. It's technique work, and it's bracing work if you think about it. So I guess there is a strength element in it, but we're going to use a significantly lighter load. So this is not going to be strength work for your legs. This is like strength work for like whole body tension, if you will, okay? But I really think that that is the number one thing that will improve your front squat for like the majority of people, because the majority of people are failing their front squat due to the fact that they can't hold that position, okay? That is the number one most important thing. Now, for those of you who don't have a problem with holding position, the next two are going to help you. The adductor machine, I know everyone feels so dumb using it, and I appreciate how you feel. Anyways, train your abductors and adductors, both of them. But here's the catch to how you're going to do this. This is really important. You're going to lean forward. Yeah, if you sit back, it's a totally different movement. It doesn't have the same transfer. You want to lean forward slightly, okay? Not perfectly upright, not bent over in half, just slightly forward like you would be in a squat. Oh, yeah. And now these movements will actually transfer. So I think having really strong hips will improve both your back squat and your front squat. I think that training your adductors and abductors, both of them, both directions, is very beneficial to you. The catch to this is how it is performed. You want to lean forward slightly, because that's the same kind of thing that's going to happen whenever you squat. You're going to have this pitched angle of like your knees up, right? So you're not sitting in a perfect seated position, right? We aren't sitting like we're sitting in a chair. No, when you squat, you've got this very aggressive angle of your femur to your torso. And so we're going to lean forward slightly. We're not going to bend in half, but we're going to lean forward slightly. And you'll notice this immediately. It will feel different. And that's why this is going to transfer. Training your adductors and abductors will transfer to your squats, both back and front squat. But I find that this is a really useful thing for improving your front squat. Okay, and the last one, and it pains me to share the last one because I fucking hate it. You guys that follow me on Instagram know that I hate lunges. I absolutely hate lunges. There's nothing good about lunges. Lunges suck. They're miserable. They're not fun. If all the movements that you could possibly do, lunges are my least favorite. However, that's probably why they're good for you. So I think that alternating reverse lunges specifically, not forward lunges, not walking lunges, alternating reverse lunges with load, so hold some dumbbells or put a weight vest on or put a safety bar on your back, whatever it is. Alternating reverse lunges performed very strictly. Don't just like drop and bounce your knee off the ground. Be very, very strict. And you're not going to take a huge step back. If you take a huge step back, it's going to be a lot of hamstring and glute. If you drop your knee down, so picture your front foot, and you're going to take your other leg and you're going to lower your knee down maybe like an inch or 2 inches behind the heel of the other foot. So it's a very tight lunge, like we're almost lunging straight down. You're going to feel it in your quads. You're going to do a very quad biased alternating reverse lunge. Your forefoot is actually going to be so aggressively pitched that your knee will go over the front of your foot. So this is not like a vertical shin lunge. This is a very aggressive forward pitched lunge. That's why we're biasing the quad here. And you're going to do alternating reverse lunges with load, and the way that you perform it is what matters, just like the adductor thing. How you perform it matters. We want to have that forward shin angle. We don't want a vertical shin. We want a very aggressive forward shin angle so that you're placing the load. You'll feel it. You'll feel the muscle. You'll feel it in your quads, okay? And I would tell you that you can even do these for high reps. Sometimes I'll throw just the empty bar on my back. So the safety bar is 65 pounds. And I'll do like a set of 50 to 60 reps, okay? So that's like 30 per leg, if you're doing 60 reps. And you will really feel it in your quads. And this, for whatever reason, seems to be a fantastic movement for improving my front squat specifically. It does very little for my back squat, but my front squat benefits from this greatly. I'm sure it's because of the fact that it's just hammering the shit out of your quads. This is something to work up to slowly though. You definitely don't want to be super aggressive, so don't like start today with like sets of 60 with a safety bar. Start off with like a set of 20 with the safety bar. And the reason for this isn't because your muscles can't handle it, it's because it's really aggravating to your knees. I agree with Dan John entirely. If you can do lunges, don't do lunges. And if you can't do lunges, don't do lunges because of the fact that they irritate the shit out of your knees. However, I'm not going to deny that they work. So if your knees can take it, and that's the catch here, can your knees take it? And that's why you need to build up to it very, very slowly. Build the volume up slowly. So like one set of 20, make sure your knees don't get flared up. If you feel knee pain or you have knee pain the next day, like maybe you need to do even less, okay? And then over time, maybe you do, 2 sets of 20. And then, you kind of feel that out. Make sure your knees don't hurt. Maybe 2 sets of 30. And then eventually, you're doing 2 sets of 50, 2 sets of 60. And obviously, at some point, we can even start putting more load on the bar. So it isn't just a 65-pound safety bar. Like now you go ahead and throw the 10s on. We got 85 pounds. Throw another, 10 on, and, now you've got 105 pounds. Work your way up slowly. And I would definitely say to not push your reps super high though. So I find, mind you, the reason I say 60 is because I think of that as 30 reps actually, because it's 30 per leg. So in my mind, 60 reps is 30 per leg. And that's about where I would cut it off. I would not be doing sets of 100 where you're getting 50 reps per leg, unless you're doing like body weight lunges. The body weight lunges would be a totally different beast. This is specifically that we're doing it with load. So that's the reason why I cut the reps off, okay? If you're doing unweighted lunges, I don't care how many you do. You do them till your heart's desire. But once you start adding load, you know, if you get to a point where you can do 60 reps unbroken super fast, well, then you're just not using enough load. You got to put more load on the bar. If you're doing a set of 20 and it takes you 5 minutes because you have to stop and catch your breath between, you've got too much load on the bar. So like this should be a steady bit of work, but like it shouldn't be super fast, and it also shouldn't be like grindingly slow where like you have to stop and breathe between lunges. And that is how I would approach that. So those are your 3 things. So paused front squats where we pause just slightly above parallel. The adductor and adductor machine, I just consider both of those to be like one single accessory or whatever you want to call it. I guess we could technically argue that I just came up with 4, but I'm telling you to train your adductors and abductors. And like I said, how you perform it matters. You want to slightly lean forward. And then of course the alternating reverse lunges with that very aggressive forward knee angle so that we're biasing the quad. Those 3 things will push your front squat up, and they will help significantly. And especially those paused front squats, will allow you to hold better positions so that now you can do even heavier front squats. And, you know, you'll notice that a lot of people struggle to do reps with front squats. People are like, oh, I'm really good for a single, but I can't do a set of 8. Yeah, well, doing those paused front squats, now suddenly you can start doing sets of 5, sets of 6, sets of 7, 8, right? I know 7 is that magical number where nothing happens or something, right? So like, you know, sets of 3 to 5 are for strength, and sets of, 8 to 12 are for hypertrophy, so nothing happens with 6s and 7s. But if you do enough 6s, you'll summon Mark. He'll grant you a wish. No, that's a joke, because Mark's all about 5s. So really, 6s, you summon the demon. But the demon really isn't very impressive. He has really small quads, and so actually he just gets angry at you. But if you do sets of 5, you summon Mark Ripito, and Mark Ripito shows up and gives you a gallon of milk. Anyways, I hope this is helpful. Like I said, front squats seem to be something that a lot of people struggle with. It's my favorite lift, and these are the things that I have found that improve my front squat.